Have you ever considered how your extra weight might be an armour, a shield, a protector? For some of you, you might straight away go, yep, that's absolutely me. And for others, you may not have ever considered that. I certainly hadn't. So I'm just going back to 1997. I was 27. I'd just come out of a really abusive, physically and mentally abusive relationship. And no surprise that my self-worth and self-esteem were at the lowest, but my weight was at the highest. And I very much came out of that relationship blaming myself, blaming my weight. If I hadn't been as fat, hadn't been so disgusting, the things that had happened to me wouldn't have happened to me. And I very much believed that. And so what I did, I put myself on that quest of losing my weight. And that had pretty much been a very familiar pattern in my life, certainly up to that point. So 5 years passed, I lost 8 stone. I did the typical yo-yo dieting. I'd lose a few stone, feel better, and then weight would go back on again. And that's a whole different story. I got to a size 10. I lost 8 stone. You know, that number in the future, or that clothes size in the future that we hang so much on, we hang so much happiness on. And I got there. And yes, I felt fantastic in my wearing the clothes that I wanted to wear. But actually what started to happen was my insecurities were really started to come to the surface. I was having extreme anxiety, my self-doubt, my self-criticism. What had happened when I lost weight, and I thought all of that would actually start to go away, was it actually peaked. It was at its highest. And that was when I chose to go into therapy. And what I discovered through my own therapeutic journey was my weight was an armour. It was a protection to the world. And it was aimed around trust and trusting men in particularly. And my subconscious had made some decisions that if I stayed fat, if I stayed overweight, that would make me unattractive to the world, and therefore men wouldn't find me attractive. So it was a really effective way of keeping me safe, of helping me to avoid having to be in relationships that required trust, and it's crazy. And that stems from some stuff I experienced as a child. So I was in this conflicting place because my conscious mind was definitely following that I needed to be slimmer, to be better, to be prettier, to be healthier, to be more lovable, all of that stuff. But my subconscious was very much caught in that I needed to maintain this armour in order to feel safe and protected in my world. And it was only when I started to explore that stuff and work on that stuff that I finally stopped going round these cycles of losing weight, gaining weight. So can you relate? If you can, come and talk to me. Come and let me know your story. I'm Hayley, the food therapist, founder of If Diets Don't Work, Then What Does? You can find me on here. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. And I'll also pop the link to my website. So I want to talk to you. Help me to understand your story. If you struggle with your weight and you keep going around that dieting cycle, we need to talk.